chapter of the year. I know we say this all the time, but guess what? I don't give a fluff. This chapter was lit. Chapter 1164, it is titled Davy's Blood, and the cover page, it is a request of Perona chasing a rabbit with a pocket watch. Perona thinks that this rabbit looks like Mihawk because of the hat, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people talk about Mihawk being a holy knight. That's a theory because of this, how the holy knights, they're hunting rabbits, and then when Mihawk talked to Zoro, he said, oh, I don't go all out when hunting a rabbit. And then this cover page also reminds me of that meme of the rabbit holding the pocket watch. Some people talk about Big Mom and the homies, and maybe Mihawk, his soul was a homie. You know, a couple theories there, like this cover page. But with that out of the way, let's get into this breakdown. In the last chapter, the legendary 6, they attacked Emu, and then Emu, man, they ate that attack like it was nothing. They grabbed rocks, had him up in the air like Vecna, and then told him, hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to be the one to torture your family. No, I'm going to get you to wipe out the Davy clan. I'm going to get you to wipe out Teach and Eris. And then this is when the Domi Reversi started to happen. As I mentioned, the attacks did nothing. I think that this is crazy that in the last chapter, nobody reacted to it. And it took them to this chapter to be like, yo, our attacks did nothing. And this is really scary because these are some of the strong... let me not just say some of. These are the strongest characters, not just in the God Valley flashback, but in all of One Piece. Not just the current story, of all time. And if a combined attack like this didn't do anything to Emu, then well, how the fluff do you beat him? You have Garp, his galaxy impact. We saw what a Garp at old age. We saw the scale of that attack at Hachinosu. Roger's divine departure, we saw it sent Odin flying, and when Shanks used the same attack, well, it one-shotted Kid, and Emu just brushed it off like it was nothing. We are officially cooked. I literally don't know how we're going to beat this monster. Maybe Joy Boy and Davy Jones, we need their combined efforts to do it. I'll talk about them a little bit later. Now, while Xebec was being transformed by the Domi Reversi, he mentioned something really interesting because apparently Davy Jones was the previous king of the world. What the fluff? That would mean that during Joy Boy's time, so 800 years ago, Davy Jones was the true king before Emu during the Void Century, which was the 20 nations versus the ancient kingdom that Emu usurped the throne from Davy Jones. Now, it's up in the air whether that this is true, whether it's false. I'm not necessarily going to take Xebec at face value, but at the same time, there's some truth behind it because, well, Emu would not have reacted this way if that was the case. So what does this mean for Teach? Well, the Blackbeard Pirates, they talked about wanting the world, and if Teach knows the truth about the Davy clan, that would mean that technically Teach is the rightful heir to the throne. And so I don't think that Blackbeard is going to be defeated, or at least, well, he'll have some prominent role meeting Emu, inherited will, and how stuff tends to come full circle. And especially with Xebec, how he mentioned that Emu is scared of both Davy and Joy Boy. And well, Joy Boy's already resurfaced. We've seen that Luffy is the reincarnation of Joy Boy. And so when Davy Jones resurfaces, that's going to be T. Now, regarding his matchup, he is going to fight Shanks. Before One Piece is over, Oda has gassed this up for a minute. Shanks and Teach are going to fight. Now, does that mean that Shanks is going to lose? Does that mean he's going to win? I'm not sure, but the way that Xebec, or at least his importance to the story, and Teach is, supposed to inherit his will, to me, I feel like Shanks is, well, unfortunately, destined to lose. Now, circling back to the story, Emu is not worried about nothing because Emu's like, with all this going on, it's okay, because guess what? I got some new toys. I got some new soldiers to command, and Emu is referring to the giants. Now, they talked about Harald and how he had a big blunder, how the giants are supposed to be under their command, and how they didn't end up serving Emu. We gotta know what happened with that. It's probably gonna happen after the flashback. But if you guys enjoy regular One Piece content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. Yeah, it's enough fighting. The fighting is over. The Domi Reversi is complete, and Xebec is ready to raise havoc. And havoc he raised because there were several people that got folded. Who was the first victim? That was Kaido. Kaido sitting here looking, he's like, hey, Xebec, what's going on? Just chilling. Out of nowhere, Xebec cracked. He ended up smashing him into the wall. Big Mom didn't take kindly of that. She looks at Kaido as a little brother, and she was like, hey, I thought we were supposed to be allies. And I think there's a little bit of a misconception with the whole Rocks parts, them having the falling out because they had different agendas. That's true. But I do feel like there was a certain few people that were actually somewhat close. And so Big Mom, as I mentioned, she goes to attack Xebec. She gets folded too, sent to the Shadow Realm. Now I do want to give them a little bit of bell because Rocks is probably an outside of Emu, in my opinion, the strongest character in One Piece. And now with the Domi Reversi, on top of that, that means that his strength is even higher. So I'm not trying to do these two dirty, especially Kaido. He's not in his prime yet. But regardless, they got one-shotted, they got low dead. But you know who didn't get one-shotted? Motherfluffin' Whitebeard. That's big bro to us. That's big Whitebeard, big beard. Because what happened compared to the other two, he clashed with Rocks, and he's not even using his Murakomagiri. No, he's using his Devil Fruit, the Goro no B. And on top of that, the clash was so powerful that half of God Valley, the mountain, ended up falling over. Now, I saw some people say that Xebec ended up tossing Whitebeard or sending him flying into that mountain. It's very well true. I'll have to see with the anime, but at least to me, I feel like it just happened because of the intensity of the clash. But shout out Whitebeard. Some people have been slandering him with the flashback. He had the little googly eyes, the hard eyes with Shaki. People have been talking a little bit yin yang. Man, I never doubted you, GOAT. I never doubted you. It's motherfluffin' Whitebeard. Kuma is still on the island with his Devil Fruit. He had been sending different slaves off the island so that everyone could escape. And then Kuma, he sees in the distance, he's like, hold up, there's still someone here. This is where we switch to Eris and Teach. They are being chased by Xebec. And I love Eris' reaction here. She's crying, she's apologizing because she knew that Rocks was going to fight Emu at some point later down the line. And we know that because, well, we saw the statement in the flower room. I think it's so dope that Rocks, and he probably was really in love with this girl because he was able to find someone that he could truly share his dreams and ambitions with. There's Navy ships in the front ready to fire. Xebec's behind. Eris and Teach, they're cooked. There is no way out of this. And as the cannon fires, as Xebec ends up swinging his sword out of nowhere, the GOAT of side characters, the MVP of this arc. Well, let me not say of this arc, but the MVP of One Piece is Kuma. He pops up out of nowhere and poof, he sends Eris and Teach who knows where, and then Xebec tries to attack him. Kuma gets up out the paint as well. Now I know I gave this man Kuma some praise, and rightfully so, but that also means that he's responsible for Blackbeard being alive, and you know, Blackbeard ended up killing Ace and Whitebeard. So if Kuma didn't do that, then they probably wouldn't be dead. But hey, One Piece wouldn't be One Piece without Kuma. Rocks is still going on his rampage, and honestly, there's nothing that can be done because Emu put this order in, and so until it's complete, he's gonna run rampage. And guess who decided to stand in his way? Motherfluffin' Garp and Motherfluffin' Roger. Probably the best dynamic duo in the series. They're standing in Xebec's way because, well, if he keeps on going, then, well, who knows what type of destruction that he's gonna cause. What's so heartbreaking is that even though they're enemies, a lot of the times in One Piece, the characters, they have respect for each other, a pirate and a pirate, a marine and a pirate, etc. And I do think that I don't want to necessarily say it's not honorable, but this isn't the way that Xebec would truly want to be defeated because they've clashed several occasions. They know each other. They're not friends per se, but you know, they're rivals. They respect each other. And so going out like this, it just makes it so tough because we see this man, Xebec, know what type of man he is, how strong he is, how ambitious he is. He is crying. He is crying and he is begging he is begging for Roger and Garp to kill him. So the next chapter, we're going to get Garp versus Roger. I can't wait to see it. I also can't wait to see it in the anime, although we'll have to wait to 2027. I can't wait to see Kari no Toei. They're going to go in their bag. And so this provides a little bit more context as to how Garp got his title Heroes of the Marines and how him and Roger fought against the bag. Speaking of Garp, I have a lot of mixed feelings about him. I might make a long video about it. I don't know. Garp staying with the Marines, it's really insane. After everything he's seen, we clown Dragon all the time. That he sits at his desk, that he always is sweating, always looking east, and he still is. I'ma still slander that man, but at least he ended up leaving the Marines because he saw what happened at God's Valley, was like, nah, I don't want any part of this, and established the Revolutionary Army. I'm not trying to do Garp too dirty because he says fluff the Celestial Dragons. I mean, shoot, he punched Emu here, and he also doesn't take orders from him, but I just don't see how Garp can see all the chaos that happened here and know that Saturn, Emu, and the world government, they're behind all this, and is just willing to stay there. I get it. His title of Hero of the Marines, he doesn't claim it because, well, he knows that it's kind of built upon a lie. And I get wanting to change the Marines from within and set an example, because that could work, but then how many people have to suffer before the Marine restoration and them being reformed that it actually happened? So yeah, like I said, I'm going to make a video about this, about Garp, because, well, I'm just disappointed. Maybe we'll get more context. I doubt it, because Garp, he's a little stubborn, can't lie about that. But yeah, that's it for One Piece chapter 1164. Let me know how you guys felt about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. And don't forget to unleash your potential.